Now that I have several years of CIMTs with these different companies, I thought it would be interesting to share my impressions of the two and hopefully give you some ideas on what to look for when selecting your own CIMT provider. Let's start with cost. I'm recording this video in 2025, and a CardioRisk CIMT is $249, while the Atlanta Ultrasound is almost half that at $149. But keep in mind, CardioRisk comes to you. They send personnel and equipment all over the country, and that costs money. And frankly, it's worth it if you don't have a good CIMT provider near you. You can see a list of all their upcoming events if you go to cardiorisk.com and click on the button to schedule an appointment. Focus. CardioRisk is a CIMT business, period. You can expect solid, reliable, consistent results every time. Atlanta Ultrasound can service all of your ultrasound needs, which makes them real handy to have around, and they do an excellent job on CIMTs. So if you happen to be in the Atlanta area, check them out. Reports, the good news. I like that the CardioRisk report is concise and tells me what I need to know at a high level with clear red-green indicators highlighting the good and bad results. I also like that it gives me a clear breakdown of the hard and soft plaques they found. The Atlanta Ultrasound report is just the raw data from the radiologist, which I love because I know exactly what I'm dealing with. And, as we saw in the previous video, they do have a really cool visual report coming. I'm looking forward to that. I'll put a link in the description below when I do a video about that new visual report. Reports the bad news. There are a number of things I don't like and some inconsistencies I just don't understand about the CardioRisk report. We covered those in the 2025 results video. But mostly, I just wish they would provide more raw data and an explanation of exactly how the numbers shown in the report were derived. And I also wish they would provide the original high-res images with descriptions. On the Atlanta Ultrasound report, I wish there was more data. Why, for example, is there only one lateral CIMT measurement shown in the report when I know they also did anterior and posterior measurements? And while the radiologist discusses plaque in the report, it's hard to visualize. Of course, the new visual report they have coming will fix all of that. Quality. I wish CardioRisk would publish their quality indices so I know how well the CIMT represents my actual artery health. I love that Atlanta Ultrasound publishes the quality indices, but I don't understand why they wouldn't redo CIMTs that have low indices. This example had a quality index of NA for one artery and 0 for the other. I'm not sure if that was an anomaly, a reporting error, or if maybe my anatomy just wasn't cooperating that day. It only takes a few seconds to redo a measurement, so why not try again? It just doesn't seem right that they will present data with low quality indices without explanation. Arterial age. CardioRisk has that cool graph which is a great way to visualize where you stand, but you have no idea exactly how it was generated. I know they say it comes from those reports in the notes, but I've looked at some of those and I just don't see a correlation. The good news is, it tracks that other arterial age study we saw almost perfectly, which reaffirms their model. The Atlanta Ultrasound report puts you in a range, which seems a bit crude given the availability of arterial age models. And they also don't document how they came up with those ranges. CardioRisk's protocol is considered proprietary, which I think is ridiculous. Atlanta Ultrasound had no trouble sharing theirs, which I believe is based on a Mayo Clinic protocol. I wish all CIMT providers would get together and create a single universal protocol and a certification program for everyone to use. And while we're at it, get everyone to agree on a single arterial age model. Without standards in place, CIMTs will continue to fly under the radar and be ignored by the cardiology community at large. Patient portal. Neither CardioRisk or Atlanta Ultrasound have a patient portal. Wouldn't it be great if you could log in to see your historical results, get an arterial age plot with all of your historical data generated for you, view trends, and view high-res images of your CIMT scan? In a perfect world, I would love to be able to see a video of the entire procedure on that patient portal. Customer support. Personally, I found it difficult to get CardioRisk to answer support emails, and when you do get a reply, it's difficult to get answers. And they won't let you take photos or videos of the procedure. I suppose that's partly because almost everything they do is hidden from the customer and labeled proprietary. Atlanta Ultrasound's been the opposite. They're responsive to questions, provide answers to anything I ask, and let me take photos and videos of my CIMTs. And the most important thing is, both of these companies do real CIMTs. If you see an ad for an ultrasound of your carotid artery being held at a local library or church or community center, chances are that's a flow study, which is not a CIMT. It measures the flow of the blood in the carotid artery. In the live demo video, we did several examples of that. It was helpful to see the full flow through the arteries, but as we saw, it didn't measure the wall thickness of the artery or show you the type of plaque. There's a link in the description below to the Doppler flow study video if you want to learn more about the difference between the two. Hopefully, this list of my impressions will help you select your own CIMT provider. And while I may have been a little nitpicky in this review, please know that I have the greatest respect for both of these companies and do recommend both of them. This is really just a list of things that I think would make a couple great companies even better. Now, if I had to choose one, I would give a slight edge to Atlanta Ultrasound simply because they're half the price, I get the raw data, their support is awesome, and they're local to me, so I can schedule an appointment anytime I want. Would I use CardioRisk if I didn't have access to Atlanta Ultrasound? Absolutely. They are a rock-solid CIMT provider. And remember, I'm not a doctor and I have no medical training, so none of this should be taken as medical advice. I'm just sharing my impressions as a way to learn about this technology because there's no better way to learn something than to try and explain it to somebody else. Leave a comment below telling us which CIMT provider you use, what they charge, and your impressions of them. It'll help others in their search. Go here to learn more about these companies and what they have to offer.